What's going on YouTube? It's Mid-40s Gamer here coming at you with some more Elden Ring content. Today we're going to be taking a look at two of the cheesiest boss battle methods that still work after patch 1.04, which should help you bring an end to your lack of sleep and broken controllers. One of these methods was pointed out to us by one of our subscribers and good friends OutworldDragoon, who said he loves the cheese in any form. Both boss fights will require some specific gear that you can get fairly easily, and we'll show you where to pick it up. So let's get ready to spread it on as thick as possible, tell Melania nothing melts better than cheddar, and get after it. Our story begins in Miquella's Haligtree at the Haligtree root site of Grace, which as many of you may or may not know is the site of Grace right before facing off against Malenia, the Blade of Miquella. This boss fight has become the bane of existence for lots of folks, and while you can smash this boss face to face with a dialed in bleed build that slaps harder than Will Smith, there is a pretty cheesy way for you to accomplish it without a juicy blood loss build. One of the things that you will need for this method is a Dragon's Breath incantation, and if you're at this point in the game, it's likely you have a stack of Dragon Hearts and a few breath incantations under your belt, so we won't insult your gaming intelligence by pointing out where to grab them. At this point, we'll head over to this oddly shaped stone that juts out more than usual and walk right up it, jump, and fire off the Dragon's Breath for an additional boost of elevation onto this root shelf. From here, we can use a rune arc and any other items that'll help us out with the FP cost, pull out a shield with 100% physical damage absorption, and one of our favorite boss killing weapons, the Falling Star Beast Jaw, which has a rather useful ability, the Gravity Bolt. This spell imbues this weapon with a gravity lightning bolt that does mostly physical damage, and it does some magical damage as well. In addition to its damage, this weapon has an amazing stagger rating that'll stagger almost every boss in the game. And as you can see from the map footage, you can pick this weapon up on your way to the Volcano Manor, since you'll likely pass through the crater where the Falling Star Beast mini-boss is lurking. After defeating this boss, which isn't a heavy lift since you have a ton of room to maneuver, you'll receive the Falling Star Beast Jaw, which scales with strength, dexterity, and intelligence. From here, all that's left to do is lightning bolt Malenia into the ground. Just keep in mind that if she floats up to start her waterfowl dance, you'll need to pull your shield up to block it, otherwise you'll get knocked off the root. Once the second phase starts, you'll be automatically pulled off the root location to start the fight in the middle of the arena. It is important to note that if you try to get back up on the root for the second phase, you'll actually glitch out to where you can't attack at all, and you'll eventually get yeeted out of existence. So the second phase is actually on you. However, now you can call on a fresh spirit summon. We recommend the Mimic tier here, since the Mimic will cast Gravity Bolt as well, and the more Malenia stays staggered in this phase, the more you can remain at a distance, making it more likely she'll use her more devastating attacks against your Mimic. While the Mimic tier prioritizes the main hand weapon, it'll also use the offhand shield when it's applicable, as well as any consumables you might have had in your hotbar upon summoning the spirit. If you haven't located the Mimic tier yet in your travels, it can be found in the Knight's Sacred Ground on the second floor of the temple, locked behind one of those imp fog doors that'll require a stone sword key. With Malenia sufficiently covered in cheese, we'll move on to the next boss location, which, as you can see from the map footage, will be within the Crumbling Farum Azula at the beside the Great Bridge site of Grace. Instead of heading onto the bridge to lay a serious beating on Malekith, we're going to turn around and take the elevator back down into the temple since we have some secret fish to fry. If you aren't picking up what we're putting down, we're about to take you on a handheld tour to one of our favorite secret boss fights in the game, which as the Crumbling Lands go is fairly off the beaten path. After heading back down into the temple, we're just going to sprint past all the enemies and head out towards the cliff directly across from the main entrance. As you follow the game footage, keep in mind you may take some projectile damage on your way to the cliff face. Just continue to run towards the set of trees at the cliff's edge, and once you reach the edge, you can actually jump down onto a secret floating path that'll lead you right to the area where you can trigger the boss fight. From here, it's a very linear one-way trip to a dead end. But once you get to the dead end, all you'll need to do is hop into the only empty gravesite and lay down in it when you're prompted. We didn't want to spoil the amazing cutscene you'll be treated to, so we just left it out. Once in Dragon Lord Plasidusax's lair, we're going to use some old Soul Series cheese and drop some poison on this boss from a distance before getting close enough to trigger the actual fight. For this method, we'll be using the Arrow's Reach Talisman, which increases your bow's effective range, and it can be found right above the Gatefront Ruins Site of Grace at the start of the game. We also have a full combat load of arrows, which are split between Serpent's Arrows, which can be bought from the Wandering Merchant in Caelid North, as well as Poison Bone Arrows, which were crafted prior to coming here. The main ingredient for this poison cocktail, though, is going to be the Serpent's Bow, which adds a base of 15 poison buildup to all arrows. And as you can see from the map footage, it can be found in the abandoned cave early on in Caelid, which is the same place you picked up the Golden Scarab. If you're unfamiliar with the Golden Scarab, we left the link in the description just for you. After making your way through the entrance of the cave, right past the summoning post, there'll be a drop-off where you'll see an abductor virgin in a pool of rot, and the purple glow of something special right in front of it. From here, all that's left to do is drop down, take care of one enemy, and claim the bow for your collection. This decorative bow will vastly increase the poison buildup, and with this weapon in hand, all you'll need to do is fire enough arrows to poison the boss, let the poison run its course, and rinse and repeat that process. Eventually, the boss will rot away into nothingness, and you'll walk away with the cheesy win. Well folks, it looks like we're coming to the end of another Elden Ring video as we head off to turn in this remembrance for a killer sword. We'd like to take this time to thank you for watching, and if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any new mid-40s gamer content. And if you aren't too busy wondering why Queen Mera would take a giant dump on Captain Jack Sparrow's pillow, leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know how we're doing. So until next time, just remember, Ice Pops were actually invented by an 11-year-old on accident, and as always, good hunting.